Oh, this is dope. Glen, you Dr. Dre out here, man. Glen Dr. Dre out here. You're listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene of Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by my guys, George, Glen, and Mo. It's our Washington Commanders first round NFL Draft Live Reaction Show. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, nothing much, man. I'm just glad the Giants messed up, and I'm just happy.
Messed up.
The Ravens got Malachi Starks. I knew they
took Malachi Starks.
Yeah, Ravens got Starks.
They said they weren't letting him out of this draft.
Sure did. That was smart.
Jeez,
hey, man, that means Washington should be on the board. Are we on the board? Are we next?
No, Washington.
28.
Detroit now. Yeah, Detroit's on board. Washington's coming up.
Man, this draft has been crazy. Like the amount of talent that's left over right now is wild. Paul, what's up? What's going on, Paul? What's going on, my guy?
Like, what are the Bears doing? What were the Bears doing?
I don't know. I told you, man. You sleeping on Loveland. You sleeping on him.
I like Loveland, but you get the best player at the position. You're gonna go there.
I'm just telling you.
Cole Kmet.
They
got a good tight end
they
already.
They got Cole Kmet paid already too.
Yeah. I'm just
like
saying.
the first year of his pay.
Y'all gonna see, man. Y'all gonna see. You know what?
Ben Johnson.
Look, Ben Johnson does love his tight ends, though. He do love his tight ends.
Ben Johnson already think he the smartest dude in the room.
Ben Johnson loves his Paul like the draft as well. Y'all gonna
don't be letting your Wolverine love cloud you.
No, I showed you the stats. I showed you the stats, George. He only had 1 year better than my man. He only had 1 year better than last year. He only had 1 year. He only had 1 year better than Loveland. 1 year. It was last year, and we had no quarterback play whatsoever.
But he was also behind.
And he played 10, and he had 10, and he played less games last year. And Loveland played less games last year.
Yeah. All I'm saying. Penn State quarterback's good though. That's kind of funny.
Way better than Michigan quarterback. Have you seen
Detroit's pick is in, and Washington is next on the clock, man.
That's wild. You know what?
Those in the chat, before Washington makes his pick, who you see, who you like, who you grab, who they grabbing, who's Washington's grabbing.
I've said it since day one, man. I said it from day one. Y'all know who I think it is.
Since day one, who you think is gonna be?
Mike Green.
Oh, you did say Mike Green. Yeah, you did say Mike Green. That's not a bad pick though. Nah. I'm telling you, because how this board is going. Will Johnson, baby, we got all it. We got
Will
all
Johnson.
Of it. It's out here, bro. That's a lockdown corner, bro. A lockdown corner out there.
Unless Detroit does it.
I know. That's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about that too. Detroit could do that.
If Will Johnson's there, they better not move back. But if he's not, they should move back.
I'm just saying, I think Washington should go higher. Well, best player available. That's how I think. That's my thought process. Best player available. Anyway, make sure y'all subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Errrrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrrything and hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_Errrrything. Also, if you're not on viewing this on our All Burgundy and Go Errrrything YouTube channel, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button, and also like this video. And if you feel real generous, hit us up with a super chat, man, so we can prioritize your comments. It's going to be jumping. You know what I'm saying? It's the draft, man. It's definitely going to be jumping. Also, we are streaming live on the Urban Sports Scene X handle as well. All right, man, it's time for the pregame. As y'all know, man, it's the 29th pick. We waiting, ready for it. Ready for the Commanders to make that 29th pick. Like Glenn said, man, folks in the chat, are you out there? Who do you want watching the draft? My man, here you go. Dujane, Will Johnson or Travion. Look, the streets is talking. They know. And Burton. He also says Burton if he's out there. I'm telling you, man. Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
Nah, everybody keeps throwing Travion's name out there, man. And they know that kid is special, But I think you got to go Will Johnson here.
You got to go defensive player, guys.
You got to go defensive player. And I want Travion in Washington, but you got to go defensive player.
I'm not be real with you. I want the best player available, and the best player available just happens to be Will Johnson. Off the grade.
Fair.
No, yeah, that's just my thing. I want the best player available. If Will Johnson is not the best player available, then I would want whoever the best player available is. You know what I mean? But that's like, if you even look on ESPN, he's the best player available, and it's a 91. He has a 91 rating.
He's been the best player available for 15 picks.
Exactly.
I just
is
don't want them to
crazy.
His
do.
medicals. What are the medicals everybody's
He came
talking
off the
about?
knee.
Will
He
Johnson?
just came off the knee injury, but he already ran his 40. His 40, he's all right in his 40. His 40 is still
I
dope.
thought he didn't work out.
Sorry, I'm thinking about his prior 40. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought he didn't work out.
He ain't work out, but you go off the body of work and what he's done. Like,
I mean,
we're talking
the kid
about
hasn't given up a touchdown in 2 years.
Yeah, like just think about and for Washington's case, to be real with you, you still got Lattimore, you got what's name. You don't have to rush him out there.
What I said, I wanted Mike Green. I said the second pick, second option should be a corner.
Yeah,
we thought it was gonna be like Buddy from Texas or something like that.
It's a different, and Buddy from Texas not even close to him.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But he ain't not even close to him. That's the thing about it. Like,
hey, but they can't lose either way though. If Detroit picks up Will Johnson, then Mike Green will be great in Washington.
I mean, there's a bunch of defense. Like, I'm gonna lie to you, it's a bunch of edge rushes where you can kind of trade back.
Right. That's
trade. If you don't get Will Johnson, they should trade back.
You could trade back because, like, to me, the difference, like, to most part, like, Will Johnson is an outlier. Like, that's an outlier that's at you. The edge rusher situation, like, multiple people have said in this draft, like, there's so many, and it's the margin is so small.
And
like,
I wonder if Detroit's going to draft him because they've had the most time with him.
They do. That's what Paul said. Like, Paul said, like, Detroit might get him, which would make sense.
It would make sense. Hey, whoever we get, we just hope they don't treat them like they treated my man Shamar Stewart, dog.
Listen, Shamar Stewart, whoever, like, that team got to get, something got to happen over there. Somebody in Cincinnati got to get fired. Somebody in Cincinnati got to get fired.
Taj out here. What's up, Taj? You out here?
Detroit took Tyleek Williams.
Tyleek Williams.
Come on, man. Let's make it.
Will Johnson's there.
He's out on the board. He on the board. Come on. Don't be dumb. Be smart. Be smart.
You got to take Will Johnson here.
We already got Mikey. Let's add one more.
Hey, you asked me to ask this question, so I'm going to ask the question to the chat. Does this define Dan Quinn and Adam Peters on how they do this draft?
Oh, yeah. I think it's easy when you have the second pick in the draft and you have a top pick in each round. All right. But, like, I mean, even though they didn't make a trade last year, right? They made a trade in the second round, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they end up with 2 second round picks. But, like, when you have a top 5 pick in each round, like, that, not saying that's easy, but, like, you should leave with somebody good. Like, but drafting in the upper 20s and still getting solid players, depending on how the board works out and shakes out, is what's going to determine. Like, I think that last year everybody was just wowed by the flip of the team so fast and the quarterback position. But, like, this is the draft that's going to matter. I think that's going to, like, seriously make this team a contender for years to come. That sustainability that we talk about. I think this is the draft, because if they can come back with back-to-back drafts, like last year, what, five out of the 7 contributed?
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. If you can walk out of here with 4 players that contribute this year, like, maybe not 4 because you got that middle of the draft that's doughy, like a hole in it, but, like, if you can walk out of here with solid players that can start from day one or, like, contribute heavily, the Commanders won.
And it's a great point, Mo, because one thing, and we talked about this last week.
They're not trading out.
No, I don't
think trade would have happened already.
They're letting a lot of time run off this clock. They're taking phone calls, man. Nah, Mo, they're taking phone calls.
Nah, I think he's right. Nah, Mo right. It would have happened by now.
Because the other team,
they may be listening, but I think Adam Peters is going to know what he's doing. I just want to amplify what Mo said, because he's absolutely right, because we still have to remember that, and we talked about this last week, Glenn and I, this roster's still a work in progress, and you're still overhauling it and adding talent. And even after this draft, it's not going to be where it needs to be. And that this is a process, it's a 3-year process of getting this roster right. And this year is very critical for that. I completely agree with you, Mo. This draft and the next one is going to end up being the most important ones.
Wole, don't be on there looking ahead of time, Wole.
No. I'm looking at Logan Paulson's, like, rankings, and Will Johnson is the 12th best player on his board. Like, he's on his board. That's why it needs to happen. Best available player. It's just right. It's right there for us, man. It's right there. This is what not to be like. Look, man. I know I don't like talking about this thing. I hate the Eagles, but this is what they do. They get that. They get the player that everybody knows what's up. They get the best available player. That's how they do it.
If y'all take Will Johnson, it's a supreme pick because of who he is, but also when 23 gets hurt again, or when number 2 gets hurt again, you have a number 1 corner that can play.
Is the picks in already?
Yeah, picks in.
I think it's now in according to my television.
Oh, see, I'm on YouTube TV. That's gonna be slow. Good God. I don't want y'all telling me.
Too.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Yeah, being a pick and his knee's gonna be straight. It's only an ACL injury. Y'all
and here's the other thing.
Yeah, the ACL.
We got a completely different medical staff.
No, it was meniscus. Sorry, meniscus, bro. It's a meniscus. I think it's a meniscus. I think it was a meniscus. Let me confirm. I think it was a meniscus, right? Because he had it like
hamstring.
Was it?
I thought it was a hamstring. Like
I could be wrong. Those knee injury. I could be wrong. I thought his injury in Michigan, why he didn't, because after he was out for the season, I thought it was a meniscus. I thought
he got hurt during the season.
Yeah, he was hurt. Like he got hurt. Yeah, he missed.
Okay. He has a knee. Okay, he has a knee issue that has concerned some NFL teams. That's why he hasn't been selected.
Yeah, that's why. That's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I know why he wasn't selected, but I'm saying like you got fallback plan. Like you got room.
Commanders got options, right? You got Oluwafemi. Right? You got Oluwafemi. I think that's from Boston College.
Yeah.
And then you have Mike Green. I think you go with the guys that are healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You go you don't have a force multiplier on the DN at the DN. You don't have enough picks to make that ground up because the next 29th pick, nobody's going to be there.
True.
You got
you're right. He was over a hamstring injury at the he was fine. He was just over the hamstring injury at the
at least we know they didn't trade that pick, so everybody happy with the pick.
Right. We're gonna get Mike Green.
They're showing Will Harris on the screen, even though Wole wasn't a big fan. So that's showing me that a safety is not going to be the pick.
Oh yeah, it would not be. I ain't trying.
Will Harris is a notable key addition, is what they're saying here, according to this.
Everybody said Mike Green was sauce at UVA and left. Oh, was he?
He wasn't sauce. He got.
I would be less than thrilled if we took Mike Green here.
Yeah, we sharing like hell. Who we get?
They're looking at Mike Green's house right now.
Has not been announced as of yet.
They're all clapping at each other.
Hold on, you want to wait for your TV or you want to wait for us?
Well, I'm waiting for y'all, man. I ain't look at my TV. I'm gonna close my eyes, man. Go ahead, tell me what y'all going. Just tell me.
Here it goes, Wole.
They haven't said it yet. On mine, anyway. My TV's slower than everybody else's.
What is that?
Roger Goodell is walking up.
All right, so what happened?
He's already up. He's talking. And a Washington Commanders pick, Josh Conley Jr.
Washington Commanders.
Josh Conley Jr., offensive tackle from Oregon.
Josh Conley Jr., offensive tackle, Oregon.
Now, see, that's a guy I thought they could have traded back and got. But you know what? We need an offensive lineman.
Need an offensive lineman. Not mad at that.
Pick your 10 up now because. But
I don't like it.
You guys gotta know what this is.
I'm a little disappointed.
You guys gotta know what this is.
It's for Jaden. Off for Jaden. Look, Paul, why? I don't like it.
Why? I know Paul.
So we're not moving. So what's happened with the move with Brandon Coleman? Because everybody's talking about moving right tackle. So I guess that's not it. That's not the play anymore.
He's moving the guard.
No, he said that. He said that was the talk. No, they said they moving. They're gonna try to tackle
him or Coleman.
No, they said Coleman was moving the tackle.
They said that tackle.
They said moved right tackle.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen with him? So he's gonna do what? Are they saying Coleman's gonna play guard now?
Oh, Glen.
Do y'all like to pick?
I like seeing this tape of him blocking Abdul Carter since you've been talking about him.
That don't mean nothing.
I mean, look.
Hey, George. Remember 10 minutes ago?
I don't like this pick. I'm not going to lie to y'all. There's better players.
Remember 10 minutes? Remember the jubilation 10 minutes ago?
I'm sorry. There's better players.
Now,
I'm not mad at the pick. We talk.
Man. We're not doing this, man. Come on, man.
This isn't as bad as y'all taking Jackson Dart after trading up.
This is not Jackson Dart, man.
I got everybody saying, wow, man, we have better players than this, man. Come on, what we doing here, man?
It is
like you're right.
It's more than
I'm with you, man. What we doing here, man?
It's
more than we couldn't move back and get a guy like that.
This move is a response to everything else that's happened in the division. Mike is about to get the highest paid money ever. You got to block him. Abdul Carter just came to town upstate. You got to block him. And then Jalen Carter is still in Philly. So you got to get your interior tight because
see, this is why I'm gonna get angry.
So do y'all think they're moving Connerly inside?
They're moving Brandon
Somebody's
Coleman
going inside. They're moving somebody inside.
They're moving Coleman inside. They thought they probably didn't think this kid was going to be here.
Watch the Eagles draft, y'all. Watch the Eagles draft. Just watch it. Just watch it and understand why I'm going to be so frustrated. Just watch.
Buffalo's going to take Will Johnson.
You think somebody's going to take away to 32?
Buffalo's going to take Will Johnson.
Listen. I mean, it's not even about Will Johnson anymore. Watch how the Eagles draft. Watch, and we're gonna say why. Why?
So
we're gonna say why.
So
we're gonna say why.
So what do you give on the first pick? What did you give Adam Peters? What do you give? Oh, Buffalo.
Let's see.
Buffalo's going to draft Will Johnson. They need a corner bad.
I'm gonna give him a C.
Yeah, they need some defense in the worst way.
Bad.
That's like found money for them.
How many points did we give up against? How many points we give up against Philadelphia?
55.
Okay. Who was the best? Was the offensive lineman the best rated player available?
No.
Was he the best? Okay. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
I'm never going to turn my nose up at drafting a lineman.
I'm not.
I'm gonna tell you why. This is my thing. Mo, you're gonna test to this. We talk about
my man Paul said he gives them an F.
Look. Typically, you're like a starting tackle, right? Typically. Do you really get them at the end of the round? Typically, not really.
Nope. I'm not gonna agree with that.
I said typically. George, name your best lineman from that was late in the round.
From the last 10
years. Go for it.
Go for it.
I'll wait. Look, I'm gonna cross my legs. I'll wait. It's hard right now.
We've had some pretty good linemen getting drafted.
John Jansen,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
John Jansen was a second rounder.
Yeah,
that's one. I said in the last 10, like I'll wait. In the
I'll
wait.
Talk
about booking and start.
I mean, look. Larry Allen was drafted in. I know it's not recent, but Larry Allen was drafted.
That's my point. My point is, I said in the modern NFL. Look. Cosme was a right tackle, the second rounder. What did they do with Cosme? It was good.
They moved him inside.
Exactly.
I mean, look.
Oh wait.
I would have preferred they trade back and take if they traded back to 30 something.
They traded back. I would have been fine. I would have been fine with that. If they traded back, I would have been fine with that.
I'm not,
and that's why
I'm not drafting.
I'll agree with you that the draft pick gets a C. I will agree with you there, Wole.
I'm actually about to go D. I'm kind of angry right now. I'm trying to be.
Okay, I'll keep it as a C because
I'm about to go D.
I'm gonna give it a C.
Look,
I'm gonna tell you why I give it a C. I give it a C because you don't know.
Exactly, Jeremy. We could have got this in the freaking second round.
You could have got this. He was gonna still be on that board,
round, man. Or something that's close enough to this in the second round. Golly,
I mean, man. I hate to say, I hate to compare it to this because it's not fair. But what would we be saying about this if this was Ron Rivera making that pick?
Because we would fry it. We would crucify it. But you know what?
And
I need to be fair though. I'm gonna go back to. I'm angry at it now. It's like everything changes in the offseason and when we get to like camp or whatever. Because this team, what they typically do is like they, I gotta trust Adam Peters because last year he did a good job, right?
No, and that's why fair. We're not.
But I'm gonna say this in terms of the talent that's available. Like I'm gonna be mad if this dude is just another player. He's gonna be solid. He can be just another player, and the players we let go are all pros. Then what we gonna say here? We're gonna say, oh well, he's a good player. We could have had an all-pro player.
Oh, and not just that. The point is, this looks like a pick that his mind was made up, and he didn't look at how the board fell. Because again, you look at how the board falls, and again, Will Johnson is not supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be available. Medicals being that what they are, that we don't have our old medical staff where you knew you couldn't draft an injured player. He'd just stay injured. Well, this is different staff now.
Buffalo just skipped him too because they went to Maxwell Hairston as a winning corner.
Wow. And that's who John Kine had Washington taken.
Out of what he went to where?
Kentucky.
He went to the Bills. Maxwell Harrison.
No, Kentucky. He went to Kentucky.
Yeah, he went to Kentucky.
Okay. He's like he is like rated. See what I'm talking about, man. You know what?
So seriously, one of these two teams is Kansas City or Philadelphia. One of them's got to take Will Johnson, right?
Kansas City gonna take him. We're gonna take him.
Right. And you know, you talk about grades, the overall grade for Connolly, right?
Kansas City just traded their pick.
Focus.
They traded.
Right?
Kansas City just traded their pick to the Eagles.
Oh.
Who's trading to the Eagles?
Come on, tell us.
To the Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles, of course.
Of course, the Eagles. Of course.
There's no way they're taking Will Johnson, though.
They already got two.
Why?
They already got two.
They
That'd be
took
greedy.
2 years last year.
They got two. That'd be greedy. That'd be greedy.
Yeah, but that's the point. You can never have enough quarterbacks in this
they
league.
move on the slide.
Unless they're going to put everybody back in their positions from this year, because what's the name? Cooper was going to have to play outside.
Yeah. So unless they trade.
You never listen.
Yeah.
Just like you can never have enough offensive linemen, you can never have enough
Ringo the year before.
Yeah, they did.
Let's see.
They already got the young pass rusher too, though. They got the young pass rusher too.
It'd be interesting where they go here.
Yeah,
right?
The one that didn't play, Jackson something.
Yeah, they got enough pass rush from last year. Oh, then they didn't. They got don't they got Smith? What's his name? The dude the one that did play. Nolan's right.
But Nolan, listen, man, I don't care what nobody say. Nolan ain't like that.
But for them, he worked for them because of the interior.
I mean, because of the sheer
interior
number, but they lost like 3 guys this offseason.
I agree with Paul. They lost my man, who's the kid in the Super Bowl. They're gonna pick Mike Green. They lost my man. They lost the other cat.
Or Josh Sweat.
But they didn't have to trade up to get Mike Green.
Josh Sweat barely played like that though. He was all right.
Let me put this out there. Let me ask.
They don't got exactly. They don't got to trade up. That's the point. He's not. All right, so they can get another edge rusher. They don't got to They don't have to be.
They could have got the kid from Boston College with no problem. The next
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's something different. It's something different because you got a bunch of edge rushers right now that's lumped into this.
That they could have just sat there and waited on.
For real.
Kansas City was going to take a
somebody
DN.
They wanted, man. It got to be somebody.
You know what? Real talk.
Kansas City was not taking a DN because Karlofsky started hooping last year, number 56.
Yeah.
From Iowa. So.
Man, Howie don't care, man. Everybody get see, that's why they stay getting.
Here's I want to ask this question.
What can the Eagles do?
The fact that Washington didn't trade at 29, does that mean they're absolutely trading at 61 and going back and getting more?
We'll see.
They're gonna miss a lot. They got a lot of picks they're gonna miss, man.
They're gonna miss. They got a big gap.
They got a big gap. A lot of people off the board.
It was hard to imagine.
The draft, I know, right? The draft always falls just the right. No, it does,
true, Jeremy.
It really does, man. This crap annoys me, man. They always get what they want. They always get it, man. I can see a situation where they got to like most point, like they can, and they don't got again. Same thing I just said. They don't got to rush. If it was an injury issue, they don't got to rush him. Maybe it's a safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, they do need a safety. No, they got Malachi got drafted. Their safety is probably the dude from.
They can take Evan Warry.
Yeah, that's yeah. That's actually a good fit. That's a really good fit. Who else?
I don't think that kid can play though, guys. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for the in and out.
You good. You good.
I didn't want to disturb the show with what's going on in the back.
No, you good, bro.
But I don't know if that kid is. I don't know if that kid is that good of a player. I think he's a talent. But then again, when you put a talent like that around other players,
you got that
fair
speed,
enough.
like the pass rush.
Here you go.
We good.
We see.
He coming up. He walking up.
I feel like gotta be.
Man, all the Packers fans left after their pick.
I feel like
they cleared out there, dog. Packers fans went home.
I bet.
They should.
I bet you somebody.
Tomorrow's another day.
They want to get some bratwurst and some cheese.
Come on now.
Yeah, shoot that the ABC crew. They were. I don't know what they brought out. It looked like some kind of cheese dip and chips. I'm like, man, they could have brought that to me. I'd have eat that. I'd have loved it.
Pittsburgh need to do something, y'all. Pittsburgh need to do something. Pittsburgh need to do something and go get Shador.
Pittsburgh should have been got Shador. I don't know why Mike Tomlin didn't pick Shador.
I think
who's their quarterback?
Everybody took a chance on him falling.
Yeah.
I don't even know who is Pittsburgh quarterback now.
Who?
I wonder if
Who's
Kansas City might
quarterback?
trade back again at 32 and somebody gets up to 32 to take Shedeur.
Pittsburgh right now has Mason Rudolph, and they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. They really want Aaron Rodgers.
They really want Aaron Rodgers.
That's the player. It's Aaron Rodgers.
If he can
trade up for Shedeur in the second round, I think he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants Aaron Rodgers for at least next year.
That's Tomlin's downfall.
Yep. I think Tomlin wants Aaron Rodgers for next year so he can get a playoff win, possibly. And if he does that, then give it away to the next guy. Because, like, he got to protect he's the last year of his contract.
We got to talk about this Commanders pick, though, some more.
All right, let's get into it then. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into Connolly.
Wole is not happy.
Oh, all right. Overall,
it's not a full-on crash out, but he's not happy.
Connolly at a 78.3. That is a low seat.
78.3 though. That's
his rating. That's his rating.
That is rating 78.3 on Pro Football Focus.
So according to the NFL.com, his draft perspective, they had him at a prospect rate of a 6.36, which will eventually be a starter.
Eventually be a starter.
His production score at the combine ranked him top 5. His athleticism score ranked him in the top 6. 505.40 for a 311 pounder. That makes sense. Immediately, he's a 1-7 in the 10-yard split. All the other metrics don't really matter because he's an offensive lineman. But
look at Paul. What is it? I know Paul. I know.
He was an All-American. Wole.
That's what's up.
Oh, you All-American.
What's up?
He was also a finalist for the Joe Moore Award, the nation's top offensive lineman. He started all 14 games at the left tackle, so he has versatility there because he's not playing left tackle here.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So clearly it fits in the mold of what we know Adam Peters likes in terms of versatility, right? Mm-hmm. It's probably now you have a two-way go. You have the ability to have a swing tackle also in terms of him. I'm thinking about when everything gets right.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
When Cosme's back and in his position, Coleman takes the other guard, right? So you get rid of is Wiley the one that was the problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Wiley was
one of the problems. But Wiley was a tackle or was he the guard?
He was a tackle.
So now you fix the Wiley problem. You bump one of these guys inside. They're big. They're maulers.
Mm-hmm.
They're big. They're maulers, right? I think we've been talking about running back for this team all off season. This makes a lower level running back and the guys that they already have on the staff, which I don't. I think we have to rethink the running back situation too. Something is telling me that with that trade for Deebo Samuels, he's going to have some activity in that backfield, like a lot more than we think, right? Eckler's on the last year of his deal, and they re-signed McNichols. We may think they want a running back because Brian Robinson is not the guy. But I think they might go running back by committee with the four guys that they have there.
There's so many good running backs in this draft, though. They can get a running back at 125.
Oh my God!
Oh, he's a linebacker.
Oh my God!
Damn.
He is the absolute last person that needs to go to Philly.
Yeah, that's another one that. Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, that's another guy that shouldn't be there.
Forget
John
that.
Campbell shouldn't have felt like that.
The fact that you put him behind Jalen Carter
and all that,
and next to Zach Bond.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles do Eagles things, man.
Yeah,
this is insane.
Here you go. He's big. He's athletic. Only 21. Imagine that. What Jaden can do with time to pick defenders apart.
And I'll go back to what
That's how people talked about.
Right.
Go ahead. Go, Jeff.
I just want to go back to what Mo said because it's right. I mean, this is a division full of some pretty tough defensive lines with some pretty nasty pass rushers. Awesome. And this offensive line, and I know what happened in the title game, and you're right, Wole, about the defense, and I understand all that. But from the perspective of if we're going to get through this division, we have got to not have a situation where dadgum Jaden Daniels is running for his life all the time. And that was what happened at the end of the year last year. He was running for his life every day in play.
Awesome.
From that perspective, I'm not furious with the Connolly pick. I just, like you said, I would have been, if they had moved back to 34, 35, 36, whatever, and taken him, I think we'd all be happy. It's just,
It's awesome.
No,
it's awesome. Like, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I hope he does. I mean, I'm not rooting against the kid, so don't. That's not.
Yeah, no, of course
what I'm saying.
No, it's just a sheer disappointment in the value of the picks.
It's the value of the pick. I'm not even saying who's gonna be.
Even this kid would have been a better draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you knew Bobby Wagner got 1 year left. You know,
listen, you give this kid an opportunity to learn from Bobby Wagner and play.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's thing. It's like I'd have been happy with Jihad Campbell at 29. Again, he shouldn't be there. Jihad Campbell and Will Johnson shouldn't be here at this part of the draft.
All right,
and it's kind of stupefying that they are.
All right, it's like the argument that people are making, like he blocked Abdul Carter. I mean, I have to watch the game, so I'm not gonna act like I've watched the game and seen the game everyone's referring to. So I'm not gonna play it off like I've seen it. How many times they played this year? One, right?
They played the playoff game.
All right, I'm not gonna even do. That's just.
But is that the playoff game that Abdul was in and out?
Is that the one hand? He's still playing one hand?
I don't know if it's the playoff game that he was in and out.
All right, is Abdul Carter playing one hand?
Nah.
That's all I'm saying. Is he playing with the one hand like he did against Notre Dame? Is he playing the one hand? That's all I'm asking. Like, if that we're gonna use that as the assessment of him blocking Abdul Carter. I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking this question. Was it the game? Was Abdul Carter's hand messed up in that game?
The game against Abdul Carter is what every mock-up about this kid is about.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out when we keep talking about him blocking Abdul Carter. Was it that game with him in the play? Well, they ain't playing the playoffs, did they? They ain't playing the playoffs.
So, Wole, let's just
they ain't playing the playoffs. No, they ain't playing the playoffs.
Point.
They ain't playing the playoffs.
Some of the draft analysis around him is
they played the Big Ten title game. That's
the title game. Yeah, exactly. Was Abdul Carter healthy in that game?
Yeah, I thought he got hurt in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay, I'm just asking. That's why I'm asking a real question. I'm not even being funny.
Yeah,
usually
I
understand. Funny. Yeah, I'm not trying to be. Usually, I'm trying to be funny. But I'm not even trying to be funny. What'd you say, Mo? I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I said, to your point, some of the weaknesses that I'm reading about him is that he lacks pace to collect linebackers on workup blocks. He needs to improve his play strength and play bigger. So there's no nastiness there clearly, right? He oversets and he opens up the inside door in pass protection of court. They say he's an average bender. He relies on his forward lean. So that may be the point that you was mentioning, that he might slide inside the guard. Because if he's an average bender at the tackle, and they say he has trouble anchoring against speed to power rush.
Do you know what he sounds like? You know what he sounds like? Let me real with you. Huh? No. Know who he sounds like? Remember, you watched last year's draft? You know the kid from Oklahoma?
The one that went to the Bengals.
No, the one with the Cowboys. Was the one with the Cowboys?
No.
You the guy with the Cowboys.
The tackle that went to the Bengals.
No, the Cowboys. They started him and then they benched him.
Oklahoma?
It was Oklahoma, wasn't it? Am I correct? I thought it was Oklahoma. It was Oklahoma.
I think
Texas, Oklahoma. It's Oklahoma or Texas. I believe it's Oklahoma. I'm sure it's Oklahoma, but I could be wrong.
I don't think it's Oklahoma, Wole. But I'm gonna check. I'm checking it now.
Check it out. Check the Cowboys rookie last year. He's the first rounder.
The Cowboys rookie was a tackle.
Yeah,
it was a guard. It's like Louisiana Tech or something like that.
No, tackle. First round, late first round. Just chuck it. Because he started and they benched him. They benched him.
You're right. Tyler Guyton.
The Guyton. That's what I'm talking about. Guyton.
Yeah, that sounds like
it reminds me of Guyton. That's exactly what Guyton sounded like. And I think Guyton is young, 21. Like, he was young too. So the same thing. He's young. And he had a lot of potential, but you don't know what can happen. He has a lot of potential.
So since you guys are the fans, right?
Yeah.
Like and you know and the prognosticators at the same time, is your frustration with the pick that he's not going to be an impact player next year, or you don't like his big? If he's not going to be an impact player next year, do you not feel like there's room to grow into the future, or you just don't think he's a good enough player?
It's value at 29. I feel like
value at 29 is the problem.
That's all it is. It's nothing to do with him as an individual, because he can actually be. I feel like to what George was talking about, you could have traded back for real and got him. Like, you don't have, like, I don't feel like it was a thirst to have him, get him at that particular point.
This is not dissimilar to how I felt when they took Dotson, where they took him draft night, because there were circumstances where I would have loved that pick, but not at 15.
No, not 15. Exactly.
Like, if they had moved back into the late part of round 1 that year and taken Dotson, I'd have been doing backflips. But at 15, I'm like,
I thought about trading. Look, I'm gonna be real. I thought about trading back. Like, I like Travion Henderson. Everybody knows that. I thought about trading back for Travion Henderson.
The Kansas City Chiefs selected.
We're going to trade back with so much though because
they selected big Josh Simmons, that's a good pick for them.
But I think teams wanted to trade. I think they wanted to trade, but nobody was giving them an offer. Nobody wanted to trade with it. I don't think nobody wanted to deal with it.
That could be. No, I mean you got to have a dance partner.
Nobody wanted to deal with Washington because we just said it earlier. Washington has a big gap. Let's be honest. They were a playoff team, right? They made it to the NFC Championship. Why would I want to deal with you on this level to make you better and give you more picks?
Oh, no. The people on the team don't care about they'll trade with you. Like they'll trade back.
But
like depending the team will trade back.
Everything that anybody wants, they can get in the second round is deep.
Yeah. But like it's deep, but do you always get somebody that wants
like you already got anarchy at the top of this round too. Everybody's going to be trying to move up in round 2 to get some of these players.
You had teams to trade up with the Rams. You had teams to trade up whoever. Like there's a team you could have got to trade up with you. Like I don't feel like I won't give them off. I won't put them off the hook and say that nobody wanted to trade with them. I think we're all guessing. Like to be real with you, me included. But I'm not gonna say like that's the guarantee. Like nobody wants to trade Washington because nobody wants. If that was the case, how many people trade with Kansas City and they win championships? I hate when they trade with Kansas City. And they trade with Kansas City all the time and help them out.
Mm-hmm. The Buffalo's done it twice.
Yes. So
Buffalo's done it twice in the Patrick Mahomes era.
Exactly. So I'm not gonna say because they're scared of us.
The team that you cannot beat, you keep giving them tools.
Yes.
Exactly. They did it last year with Worthy.
Worthy, exactly.
And Worthy beat them.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say because teams are scared of us, they're not gonna. No, that's not what it's gonna ever. No, because Kansas City, they give stuff away to Kansas City. So like, I'm just saying like, go ahead, Glenn. Go, Glenn.
No, I'm just saying. Look at the picks that are coming up in the second round, right? The Cleveland Browns organization, we know that always fumbles the ball.
They're moving out of that.
They got 33.
They're trying to leverage that. They're moving out of that.
Houston, Texas got 40 to 34, right? Tennessee got 35. You got the Browns.
Got a bunch of trades at the top of round 2.
You got Browns who got 36. With the Browns who got 36 has already fumbled on their pick already today. They already traded once today. Excuse me. They already traded once today. Traded from number 2 to number 5, right? Then you got Vegas at 37, which I think this is where Travion Henderson goes. Now you can't put those two on the same team. Sorry. Travion goes to 38 to New England or 39 to the Bears, in my opinion.
He's not gonna pass the Bears. I can tell you that.
Yeah, he won't pass them. He won't pass the Bears,
especially not with his Gibbs-like speed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good point, Mark.
And look at what's the name. I knew Amari Hampton was not going past the Chargers. I knew that for a fact.
Yeah.
I knew that for a fact. The way he runs and the way that Jim Harbaugh is it Jim or John over there? Jim likes to run. And they signed Najee.
I'm surprised they didn't get a wide receiver though. They need a wide receiver.
They're gonna get one of they got the kid. There's plenty left.
Yeah, okay.
There's plenty left. Like in the second round.
And what's the name from Texas still out there?
No, he went.
He went, right? Okay.
Golden went to Green Bay, which I didn't like at all.
They went that don't make no sense.
I don't know what Green Bay was doing.
They need a receiver, Green Bay.
Do they really? Like that?
They have 4 young receivers.
They got 4 young receivers.
Yeah, and one of them is hurt, and the other one can't catch the football.
Christian Watson gets hurt.
But they're not that much different from him though. Like they're the same type of receiver.
Forget that. He's too small.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he's not like for that offense. I don't think he's for that offense.
Thank you, Taj. Taj, thank you.
No, Taj is making a good point here. He is making a good point. What Taj?
What his comment?
I pause. Taj says this. Let me ask this, and we keep saying trade and value. What if they had no trade options they liked, and for where they were drafting at the pick, they pick who they thought was the safest pick?
I got one. I got a response. Because George had a great point. I'm gonna use George's what George said. Would you like when the team drafted? When they drafted Dotson, right? Would you use that same argument? Would you use that same exact argument? I guess that's my point. Because they were better players than Dotson. They chose to draft
Chris
Dotson.
Olave.
Yeah. So are you using that same argument? Like they couldn't find any trade partners? Like I'm just saying, like
I can't use that same argument. I can't use that argument because it's different staff. And different intelligence levels.
No. You're not the staff. I'm saying the argument. But it's reaches. The point is, go ahead.
What this reeks of is they made a lot of moves in the offseason, right? Mm-hmm. That they are comfortable with. The Laramie Tunsil trade.
I think so. I think they're real comfortable.
Right? They're really comfortable with it because the Laramie Tunsil trade, they got a elite pass blocker. They got Deebo Samuel to come in and be another receiver, which would have been something they would have had to get in this draft anyway. Plus, he gives them versatility in the backfield, right? He's a veteran that they know. Nobody knows him better.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows him better probably than Adam Peters.
Fact.
Right? So I think with that draft capital that was lost to go acquire those veteran players, they didn't want to dig into next year or the next year because the draft this year is a big hole in the middle.
It is.
They got a second rounder, 64, and then there's a fourth rounder, right, that they got from Houston, right, for Laramie Tunsil. And Houston was pretty good last year, so that fourth rounder was probably like in the 20-somethings, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they pick 128. They pick at 61, and then they pick at 128.
See, so 61 to 128. If they don't move back from 61, they're gonna miss out on 67 players.
Yeah.
So there was nothing. I don't think they had anything to trade. Forget that nobody wanted to trade with them. I don't think the Commanders had anything to
trade. You talking that? That's a good point. No, that's a good point. No, that's a good point.
To give up.
But I mean, you're offering a higher pick. You are trading something though, right?
You're offering a higher pick, right?
Yeah. So that is the value. That is the corral.
But the value would have been anybody trading with them would have been coming from the top 5 or the top 10 of the second.
Second. Yeah.
So what's the difference between another 5-6 picks?
That's a fair point. I want to
argue that. 5th year. That's the only thing you've got to offer.
Yeah, you get the 5th year option. Exactly, George.
Okay, you know what? That's a good bargaining chip.
I mean, you don't get that 5th year option. The other team gets that leverage. You get the cheaper player, right? Because your player in the second round, if you trade it back, was only going to cost you $4 million.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, these are all fair points. I'm not going to act like that.
Like, let's look at we're talking about Conley Jr. If you're Washington, you want the 5th year on Conley Jr. because you have some older. You still don't know the Larry Tunsil situation because he wants a lot of money.
For sure.
He wants a lot. He wants a lot of bread, right?
I mean, but he's not going to be around 5 years from now anyway.
But then Sam Cosby coming off the ACL, all that. You don't know how he's going to respond. How that's going to.
He's a guard. He'll be okay. He's a guard.
We can say that. We can say that, but we don't understand. We don't know because he could be one of those guys. Here it is, the right one. Now you overcompensating. The left one's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this. Like, I trust this organization not to rush him. That's the old organization, and that's the old training staff. They've done really well with the players within this training staff. And it's an ACL injury. Like the dumbest thing to do on an ACL injury is like them play out within 6 weeks. He's gonna have to test. They're gonna test it. They're gonna be more mature than the other regime, which there's not gonna be all in for week 1 type of stuff. Like we should be situated enough to know like it's an ACL injury. Nowadays with ACL injuries, like surgery procedures are way better, rehab is way better than it used to be. But secondly, also like I feel like looking at this staff, they're not gonna rush him back. I think they're taking all precautionary measures, to be real with you, for him to not rush him.
He might not play next year.
I'm being real with you. I'm gonna be real because some of the stuff he may not play next year.
That's why you make the pick you made. I mean, as I sit here and think about it, I don't like it initially, but as I said and I think about it a little bit more, you get the other lineman because you never know what happened to the lineman that you have. Mm-hmm. So the more, as George said it, the more the merrier, right? He talked about you need more linemen and you need more corner. So more the merrier. I thought, Will Johnson could have been that pick. I really do, but at the same time, as you said and you think about it, you know what? Another lineman is not bad that you can sit there. If all goes the way you want it, this guy, young kid, sat there. He develops. He grows up. He gets mature. He gets more physical mode because he's learning around these guys getting beat up. He gets the aggression he needs, and he learning from a staff all year long. You can't knock that.
Hey, folks in the chat, what do you grade this pick, man? I really want to know what y'all grade. I know my man Paul gave him an F. So Paul gave him an F. I know Paul. I'm almost like with you. Me and Paul's
hardcore.
Me and Paul started to be like brothers or whatever, man. Like me and Paul started to be brothers. I was going with D, but you're going to F. That's what's up. George gives it a C, right? You got a C, George?
Yeah, no, C, because the value argument is the best one. Honestly, is that you would have loved that pick if it was after a trade and it was 35 or whatever, or 39 or whatever.
An A, okay, Santi, okay. I'm not mad at any of these grades.
A,
an A. Santiago, like he loves it. Look, man.
That's.
Yo, he said I wanted
he wanted O&D line. That's his preference. He wanted one. That's what he wanted.
It goes back to what we had. We had a whole podcast on O-line and D-line, and a lot of people said they needed a whole lineman.
I mean, let me be perfectly fair because I don't want to go against my argument and contradict myself. I did say like you want to build your offensive line like the Eagles because you go against the Eagles, and that's like they have an offensive line where they get their quarterback to stay in the pocket forever. Now, granted, again, that's a place I want for Jayden to have a pocket like Jalen Hurts where he doesn't have to like read defenses thoroughly. Like he can be in the pocket all day and do whatever. But that was my argument. But I will say this:
you also ain't got no 26 back there either.
Yeah, that too. But no, but it's before he's 26 though. Jalen Hurts always had that line where he could sit in the pocket forever.
That's true.
He's had that line before 26 was there. I'm just saying, like, I've always wanted that. I want that for Jayden. But on the flip side, like, but still, you still got to be that quality dude to have that discussion. Like, Connerly has to be that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because this is the one thing I will say. Like, I think people get enamored with the draft and they see highlights and they see this and that. At the end of the day, right? Like, we can say this, that, and the other. We can do whatever, but the dude still got to be that dude, right? He got to be that dude. Like drafting and how I look at it, the chances are we doing the lottery. Like we playing craps, whatever. We're doing a lottery. The chances for a tackle to be vicious late in the first and later on,
very skim.
It's very skim. That's all I'm saying. Not to say that it's bad.
My only thing about drafting him, right?
Not if he's number 5 on the board, but everybody else don't need a tackle. You see what I'm saying? That's one thing. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't need alignment,
tackles are nope. See, tackles are different than other positions.
But
everybody needs a tackle. Everybody needs a left tackle. It's that's why they go on the board fast all the time. When you're quality, like seriously, when you're really good, they go off the board easy.
Will Johnson went 4th.
Yeah, teams will move things around
to get a good left tackle.
Yes. So
and
I will always say,
yeah,
like
that's my only pushback with this pick.
Yeah.
My only pushback with this pick you cannot mortgage like 3 picks essentially at the tackle position.
Oh,
you don't trust your guard, so you want to move this young kid on the inside. So now you want to solidify that.
So basically,
it goes to Paul's question. Paul's question: is Conley a starter? Right?
He has to be
a starter.
Yes. He has to be.
He has to be.
He has to be.
He has to be. I'm sorry. He has to be.
Day one.
So since you say he's a starter, he can't play tackle.
He got to start. Go so got a new card.
I do not think they thought this kid was going to be there. That's what I'm saying. You gave up a lot of capital well, you didn't.
They must have been a lot. They must have liked him a lot.
There's a lot of capital at the offensive tackle.
I agree.
By the Commanders when there were other holes on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after you traded like 3 picks for Larry Tunsil. And then you got to turn around and pay him.
Yes, you got to pay him because he want that bread.
Exactly. You got to turn around and pay him. So now there's draft capital in both directions. You spent another draft compensation on a tackle. You got to pay Larry Tunsil elite money. Right? So I get it. You want to do all that now for Jayden because Jayden showed you what he showed you last year.
Yeah, I know what it is.
He showed you what he showed you last year. And you had an injury. You had a major injury on your offensive line late in the season.
Yeah.
But I don't think they thought this kid was going to be there. One.
Yeah.
Because if they knew that, they wouldn't have moved Brandon Coleman to the right tackle. They wouldn't have pronounced
had that conversation. That's a good point, though. That's a good point.
I'm interested to see the press conference for tomorrow because I want to hear the answers to these questions. Because there's a lot of questions. Let's be honest. The fan base has a lot of questions, right? We got a lot. Let me put it out here this way. If this was a D lineman, would anybody be complaining?
No, because
the higher grade,
the best player available, and it would be a need.
Yeah,
that's what you love. You love the marriage. You love the marriage of best player available in a need. If it was a defensive player,
I think people are getting confused. Like I'm not trashing the player.
No.
I know. It's people in the chat. I want to make sure they understand this. I'm not trashing the player. I said this on multiple shows that because at first, everybody knows I've been like swayed on like I want defense for a while, but then I got to a point where I was like, at 29, you're basically a glorified second round anyway. Like I want the best available player. Like that's what I just wanted. Like I just wanted the best available player. I think you can't go wrong with stocking your talent. Like the best available player.
I don't know how y'all gonna take Jahad Campbell. If like that to be the pick that the Eagles took after. Like Jahad Campbell was there, Will Johnson was there, right?
Yeah,
like,
you got best.
Kid, I don't think the kid from South Carolina was a first round pick though. I think that he was a combine freak. We've seen those.
All right, though. His stats are.
I don't know if you remember the kid from UConn, the safety, the big safety.
Yeah, he
was Nigerian.
Yeah, and I know you're talking about.
Like I've seen this kid before.
Mm-hmm.
Like this kid ain't Sean Taylor, right?
Yeah. No, I say Sean Taylor. I ain't not saying that either.
No. I know you're not. I know you would never part your lips to say that. I'm just saying, like he's not Sean Taylor-esque, right? He's not Adrian Wilson. Like he's not none of the big physical running safeties that I didn't think he was that good, but I keep a keen eye on South Carolina because Flowers has kids there. I thought that this year he exploded on the scene.
Because, he played well, like I said.
Because South Carolina had the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, the SEC Defensive Freshman of the Year, the kid from Friendship up here, Dylan's whatever.
Yeah,
and they had another.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
So South Carolina's defense was loaded.
Yeah, they had a lot of talent.
And I think what they did was they let him roam free. They just let him do whatever he wanted to do, like within the confines. You know what I mean? Because they were getting pressure. And South Carolina's going to have like 5-6 guys drafted on their defense this year.
Because they got the defense. Did the defense didn't get drafted?
He didn't get drafted yet, but I knew he wasn't the first rounder.
Even
though he was the SEC Player of the Year. Defense Player of the Year. I knew he wasn't.
I'm saying they got a bunch of. That's what I'm talking about. Edge rushers. That's why I didn't like. If you told me my argument, what your argument, folks' argument about an edge rusher, like we're going to trade back, I wouldn't have an issue with it. I feel like you're gonna get some. You can get another edge rusher.
Right. Look how it played out. Mike Green would have been right there in the second round.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like it's still there. That would still be there. So I don't have an issue.
From Boston College is still there.
Still there. You know what I mean? These are high quality players.
Arkansas kid is still there. Still there.
All right, I'm gonna ask you guys this question though. Right here it is. Here's the question: if they pick one of those players up at 29, insert defensive lineman. I don't care. Right? And insert that person at 29.
Yeah.
What do you get, Mo? You talked about it. The gap. Do you get the other offensive lineman that you may need at 61? Because this Conley kid ain't gonna be there at 61. Who do you get at 61? Because we talk about that. Can we let's be honest. The reason this team did what it did last year is because of 5.
I agree.
Right? So he's your biggest asset. You protect your biggest asset. And your biggest asset is 5. So they say, you know what? We need to keep 5 upright. We need to keep 5 protected. We need to keep 5 taken care of. We need this kid only gave up 1 sack last year, 2 sacks the year before. So they're looking at what he's done, and he got all kind of pressures. So they're big right now. They're talking about 5. 5 is what they want to protect, and 5 is what they want to keep. George, I think you might have said it too, or Mo, one of y'all said it. If you protect 5, and these kids are good pass blockers, and they move up front, then that may also help the running game, which also helps 5.
My man, Mike said Washington will pick another old tackle tomorrow, Cameron Williams.
I think
go ahead.
Glen, to your point, right? Like, I get the need to protect Jaden. I am not arguing against that. That kid is special. You do everything you have to do to make sure. If he did that last year with a limited roster and things like that, it does behoove you to believe that he's only going to improve second year in the system, yada, all that good stuff. I get it. Debo's here, and if Debo can just be like 80% of his best, 75% of his best, he'll be a better number 2 than DC's seen in 10 years.
Facts.
Whatever. I get all of that, right? I get all of that. But you move Brandon Coleman to right tackle. You brought in Laramie Tunsil. Like, if you were thinking about protection for a young player, I would have just went with a veteran in free agency.
That's a good point, Mo.
Because you have money.
That's a good point.
Then you use this pick because you knew you wasn't going in the DM market. The DM market was way more pricey than an interior guard. Mm-hmm. And you really only need a guard until Cosme comes back. Because Coleman, once you got Tunsil, was going to move anyway. Whether you chose Coleman to go at the left guard or the right guard when Cosme came back, or the right tackle, you were still going to have 4 bona fide offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. Because Biotis is badass in the middle.
Yeah.
Coleman showed you that for a 3rd round pick, that he was more than enough last year. I think he got a C grade last year, and that's
for rookie for where he was drafted was really
what
good.
What he had to do last year, that is amazing.
I agree.
Right, and then you got Laramie Tunsil, who is a top 5 guy at his position given the year. Like that's
good.
That's why I think we all are surprised that even though we know offensive lineman is where everything starts at, that's why everybody's going to be surprised. And a lot of people are going to feel like this is a miss, right? This is a pick that you're going to have to see in 3 to 4 years.
I agree with that.
To truly know the value of it. And a lot of fans, because of all the emotional buildup from last year, it's kind of like a letdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying, Glenn. It's kind of like a letdown. Because of the emotional high that the fans are riding from last year. But like I said, I think the team decided we're going to go veterans in the places that we would have picked a young player for at least this year, because they know after year 3, they got to start negotiations with JV5, right? So that's why Debo's on a 1-year deal. That's why Laramie Tunsil was coming in off the last 2 years of his deal that he negotiated for himself in Houston, right? Because he was his own agent and whatnot. So, with this pick, if it works out, I want to try to
synthesize as best I can what Wole's feeling here, because I do understand where Wole's coming from. You can talk about the need to protect JD5, and again, I don't disagree with that at all. But a lack of offensive linemen is not why this team gave up 55 points.
Hello,
not why this team got the hell beat out of him in front of God and everybody up in Philadelphia. And we cannot have a repeat of this run defense not being a defense at all, being a Swiss cheese. Having running backs just run through. You go back to late in the year, we were all kind of focused on, oh God, Daniels is having to run for his life all the time. Or we were watching running backs, some of whom weren't nearly as good as Saquon Barkley, just run through, no problem. The Dallas running back, whatever his name is, I'm blanking on his name, ran the ball down our throat in Washington in that game. They struggled to stop the run in the latter half of the second half of the season. So I think that's why Wole, Paul, and others, I can see where they're coming from on this. You can't defend, doggone Jahmyr Gibbs would have had 200 if they'd have given him the ball in the playoffs. And you can't have a repeat of that if you're going to win a championship at the end of the season next year.
But also on the same side, on the flip side too, this team couldn't run the football. I mean, when your quarterback is your leading rusher, right?
That's the problem.
Is he nasty in the run game?
It doesn't seem. Yes. I think it's going to have to be the run game, because they're saying that his pass blocking needs work, right? They're saying that he leans forward. When you typically tell me somebody leans forward, you're telling me that they're Mauler.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all I'm trying to say, like, because let me even simplify it this way. Just because everybody gets it happens everywhere. When you draft a player that no one really knew about. Let me be real. A lot of people didn't know about this kid, so I'm not going to play a lot of people.
I know all of our listeners didn't know about this kid.
Yes, Say what about this kid, right?
I know all of our listeners did not.
All right, so a lot of people are like offensive linemen. People don't study offensive linemen thoroughly unless you're like really into watching tape. So I'm not going to even play it off like that. So when you see tackle being drafted, you're excited. I get that. Like, I totally get that. You know what I mean? My thing is like, and I hope he is successful. And what I'm banking on is like, I think this regime does its homework pretty well. So I'm not going to even doubt it to that extent. I'm not really doubting the dude won't pan out. All I'm saying is, in terms of value, you know what I mean? You had players of value that I think, my opinion, could be wrong, that will be better than him at his position. I mean, not in his position, better than him ranked. So if you're saying like this player will be so much better in his position than this player in his position, that's where I'm at. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he won't be a good pro. Listen. He could be a good pro. Like, for instance, be real. Like, all right, in the sake, I'm using for Mo. If someone like the Giants, if the Giants didn't take Saquon Barkley and say it took a solid running back, right? Or a solid wide receiver, right? a solid wide receiver, even a couple thousand yards type of receiver, right? But he ain't Saquon. You're gonna go back and say we could have had Saquon.
Yeah, his height is not
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's not going to be the same.
Exactly. It's not a knock on. I'm not knocking the player. I'm not knocking the player. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason why. You just argue all the time. It's a reason why when the Minnesota Vikings drafted Randy Moss, they didn't really need him. I'm gonna be real with you. They had Jake Reed and Chris Carter coming off a 13. They both had 1,000-yard seasons as receivers. They just got Randy Moss. Why they get Randy Moss? Because they felt like that was the best player available, and we couldn't say no. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, now, if you're feeling like the players that were remaining, there were players that you felt like, man, that this tackle was better than that player, that's fine. I'm not arguing that, and that's cool. And I'm saying, like, but I'm saying at the 29th pick, I purposely just would have wanted the team to take best player available. Again, I like Travion Henderson a lot. Truth be told, like, off biasness alone, I would take him at 29 off biasness alone. But I'm smart enough to say, nah, you better off trading back to take him. It would just be ridiculous. You could trade back and get him. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, if you value it, go ahead.
PFF nailed this pick, y'all. PFF had him ranked 30th on the big board.
30th.
He went 29th.
30th.
Right?
Okay.
It says, my biggest thing that I keep reading about this kid, because I don't know him.
Yeah, I don't know him. Exactly.
I don't know him, is I cannot imagine reading about a first-round offensive lineman, to Wole's point about the late first-rounders, right? Because they have all these other question marks that you typically wouldn't think of. We're talking about an offensive tackle here that we are discussing in order to be able to rely upon him next year to protect Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
And everything that I'm reading about him, I've been to 4 different sources since we started this argument. His game lacks some anticipation and, worst of all, strength.
Strength, right?
They'll get him stronger. What I've seen when I'm watching a little bit of film, I watched while you guys were talking, to me, is hand placement. When he's protecting, his hand placement is up around the shoulders, more college holding. And then I just don't watch linemen as they block. Okay. I watch linemen after the play. Where your eyes are you going? Are you finishing? Do you go to the next level? Watching some of his highlights off of YouTube, he doesn't finish and go to the next level, and that will be one of my concerns. And that's something they maybe get teach and get him there. I like the lineman where, hey, you take care of the first level first, and then you go to the next level. Eyes is on the linebacker, and so some of the highlights. I'm halfway through the 6-minute clip that I'm watching, and that's been some of the things that I picked up. That is hand placement, and that he is. I don't want to call him lazy. He's not lazy. He's not.
But that's what they're saying here. He lacks anticipation and strength, and that
he's not moving.
He doesn't play the motor.
Yeah, he's not moving it well because I call Chase lazy. He's not moving, but he's not.
I know. I was laughing at you. You still lazy. I was laughing. I was saying though.
He's not moving as well as he should be, but I want to see him after his rookie year. He's being on because it's a different level.
Paul's agreeing with you. Paul's agreeing with you. He says he's watching the same thing about him. He's seeing the same thing.
Ooh, okay, man. See, now this makes it risky. This goes right to Wole's point. Now we're choosing between guys that have big
upside,
big upside. They have big gaps of talent that are suitable for their position.
I
like this pause here. I mean, to a certain extent, you're gonna have people like me and people
right. Todd, at 29, you're at 29 in this draft. There, is 6 in one hand and half a dozen in the other. You know what I'm saying? It could have been either.
There would have been less concerns with a defensive player. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. It'd been way less concern.
That's true. Have been way less concern.
You're right, George. You're right.
He's help.
Yeah, you're right, George.
And then Glenn, where do interior linemen get drafted the most?
In the second, third round.
In the middle rounds.
Middle round. Fourth round. Yeah.
In the middle rounds.
Yeah.
Like now you've like basically handcuffed yourself unless you trade back. That second pick is going to have to be an impact player in terms of with the ball in his hand. I don't even know if that second pick can be a defensive player now.
And that's what I wanted to go to, Mo. You must be reading my mind. You must be reading my mind because here's the problem that I have with Washington, and I saw this because I thought they were going to trade 29 to get more picks.
I thought they were going to trade 29 too. I
really thought they were going to trade 29 to get more picks, maybe in the second and third round, or even 2 in the second round, whatever the case may be, right? Now you have a problem because you don't know who's going to be there at 61. And then you got to wait till the 4th round because you have no 3rd round pick. So you can't trade the 2nd round pick. So now you got to wait till 128. And I don't even want to talk about it.
Coach like the
I think that's why they're going to move back on 61. I think that's why they're going to move back on 61.
He said Coleman sucks. That's why.
For that reason.
Yeah, man. Coach Coleman does not suck. See, Coach, he was out with you until you did that. He don't suck.
If you move back to Georgia, you move back on 61. You
always do that, man.
And I'm not even talking about the 6th round and the 7th round. When you're 205 and 245, you're not really going to get any. I'm sorry. I know they're just still NFL players, but you're not getting much at 20. You're not getting much at pick 6th round at 205.
Sixth round.
Mike, don't do that, Mike.
Nobody.
Don't do that, Mike.
And you're not getting much at 245 in the 7th round.
You get a kicker. You get
a kicker at 245. Exactly.
But hopefully, the guys that did not perform at a high level last year, they'll grow. Like you got to get something out of Newton this year. You got to get like a lot out of Newton.
I think it'll be really good this year.
Right. So Newton would have been, if Newton didn't get drafted, if he didn't slip last year, D tackle would have been a concern this year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But you've addressed that so many different ways for this team over the offseason that I thought that they wasn't going to go there. That's why DN was such a big thing for me. And I thought corner would be second because of Lattimore's injury history. Lattimore hasn't finished the last 3 years.
They got Jonathan Jones now. They got Jonathan Jones.
Look at what you got at corner though. You got Lattimore. You have Mikey. You got Lattimore. You got Mikey. You got
Jonathan Jones.
John Jones.
They got John Jones.
Jonathan Jones. They got my man. They got Noah. You know what I'm saying? Look, they stout, Mo.
We need to clip. They're not
stout.
Mo, they stout.
If Mikey gets hurt.
Mo, they stout.
If Mikey gets hurt, if Mikey has to miss time, it would not be as
Mo, they stout. That's what everybody think. Everybody out here saying they stout. That's why.
Man, Wole, man, we're gonna be here all night. It's midnight, man. Take us home, man.
They stout.
I want somebody to clip the look on Mo's face when Wole mentioned Jonathan Jones.
That's me right there. Hey, Mike just said it. Mike said, "Yo, we good at corner."
Mike, you tripping? Mike, I love you, Mike. You tripping though? You tripping?
Mike,
yeah, no, we're not good at corner. No, I'm not either.
Your best corner is Mikey Ristel.
Mikey is the best corner.
He's the best corner. I don't care about what Lattimore did 5 years ago.
Mikey's the best corner.
No, and by the
Mikey's
way,
the best
to your point, Mo, not just the who you mentioned that needs to step up. Jordan McGee's another one.
I was about to say Jordan McGee's going to probably do something this year, right? So there goes a linebacker that could.
You talking about defensive players? You just talking defense?
Yeah, he's talking about. I'm just trying to say on the defense because the point is certain. He's talking about Newton. You expect more out of Newton this year. Okay. McGee was hurt a lot last year, so he didn't get much of a chance. You gotta hope for something. You gotta expect something or hope for something. You gotta hope
that Kinlaw is an improvement because $15 million ain't cheap.
All right, man. Like Kinlaw has an improvement. Kinlaw just has to play to what he was supposed to be when he was drafted.
That's an improvement, Wole. If Kinlaw plays to what he was supposed to be, he's an 8-7 guy.
I know you should be. You should forget about Kinlaw. I see why you did.
I forgot about Kinlaw, though.
I understand why you forgot about him. I understand.
Yeah.
You said you're not getting.
Or you know what you can do. It is trades. These trades abound. Send 94 somewhere.
You could do that too. You could definitely do that too. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie. I'm at the point now where I can get back in the second round. You trade 94, man. I need to get back in the second. This I ain't gonna lie. I'm so unimpressed. Only a lot of y'all trade 94.
George, I got something to say to you after. I got something to say to you when we check out, George.
Yeah, we can trade out of here, man. Like for real. Like I'm so want to get like another pick in the second round. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I want like a good pick. I want to get in the top 5.
Something to keep that elevated euphoria you had from the last
season.
I'm reading this chat and I'm like, you guys are so not what I'm thinking of right now because I'm like so upset at this. Like this draft is like I was so geeked. I was like, all these people are dropping. Right. Like are dropping. Like all of my favorite picks
I do think Pierce going to Atlanta changed some things.
Oh, you think so?
I do think that. I absolutely believe that.
They traded up to get that.
Yeah,
no, Washington want him no, man. They ain't want him no because they said his character, that was a thing. I heard Pierce from Tennessee.
Which is why Mike Green is definitely
Jackson from the LA Sparks to me.
Yeah, they said
Mike Green was definitely not going to Washington.
Yeah.
I was saying Mike Green definitely not getting picked up by the Commanders.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Nah, it's that character thing real.
If Pierce is a problem.
With another tackle, they are not drafting another tackle, man. You tripping?
They bet not in 61. They bet not.
Mike, stop trolling, Mike, man. But it's gonna be some good.
They gotta move back from 61. They gotta
move look,
down.
Everybody keeps saying all right, you know what? I hate that when people use the term people drop for a reason. Sometimes people get it wrong. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
A lot of people get it wrong.
Randy Moss dropped all the way to 20 whatever, and it was one of the greatest.
Larry Tunsil dropped.
Yeah, like we're not. No,
yeah, Larry Tunsil dropped to 13.
Man, we're not doing this dropping just because you drop.
He dropped because he want to smoke weed in a gas mask.
Just because you drop in the draft, injuries, whatever. A lot of people get. Jonathan Allen dropped.
I mean, Luther Burden is another one.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen dropped. Jonathan Allen dropped in the draft because of the injury history. Like, I don't want we're not going.
Montez Sweat did too.
Yeah, we're not going like that. It sound good. Like that's all we do to justify somebody not pulling the trigger. You know what I mean? For real. Like at the end of the day, like if the dude is a baller, he a baller. You know what I'm saying?
These teams do Wole. I hear you, and I'm a baller guy. I like ballers, but some of these teams know what they have in their front office, and they know that some of these coaches can't deal with some of these players. They know they can't relate. They can't connect.
Maybe I'd rather take that.
So they do all the extensive research, and they don't want something that's in their house.
You gotta have a fit. You gotta have a fit. It can't just.
They don't fit.
They
don't worry about you.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. But I'm saying, like, for people, it's easy to throw that everybody they're dropping. Like, nah, some people, like, if you watch, like, one thing folks won't ever do is insult my eyes. Like, if I watch a player and I know they can go, when a player can go. Like, all right, I mean, because Todd using this like for Will Johnson, right? You watch Will Johnson, Mo, right?
Absolutely.
Dog, right?
Dog.
Close to, not. I don't like using lockdown corner because Travis Hunter to me is like that. He's like a lockdown corner to me.
I think Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know if Travis Hunter's lockdown, but I know
he's close.
He's dynamic.
He's dynamic, exactly.
He's dynamic at corner, right?
Yes, exactly.
I think he's better than Asante Samuel.
Yeah, way better.
Like him.
I know you're talking about, because because know why? It's because I know you're talking about. I agree with you because he'll take a chance. But it's also because he played receiver.
He he can make it up the difference.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He got that mindset. It's just different.
If the ball is in the air, it's his. It's nobody else's.
Like I had this conversation with Lee Biden. We talked about it. And we were talking about, and Paul was on the chat like when we were talking about it. He was like, corners don't jump like they used to. They don't try to jump on stuff like they used to. You know what I mean? And that's like when you have that ability.
I think it's the teams, though. I think it's the coaches that don't allow them to.
I agree with that.
Will Johnson got like 4 back to the house, don't he?
Man, he got house calls, bro.
Because when he decides
he go.
Anchor, you done.
You done. That's what I'm just saying. Like, so I'm saying, like, a player like that dropping, like I'm gonna take the benefit, just like when Jonathan Allen dropped. I was like, we better get Jonathan Allen. Like, and it's still bad team, but it panned out. Like Jonathan Allen was one of the better D tackles for a while in his time. So I'm just saying, like, just because like people are like they don't like the injury report, it's gonna be that one team that say, you know what, it works for me.
Hell yeah.
They gonna look like the genius, and we're gonna sit here as like, man, well, everybody dropped. Everybody was like,
but I have to go back to it was 2007. Everybody knew this person's characteristic, but Tennessee took the chance on him anyway. Pac-Man Jones, and look what happened to them. When he held out and went in camp. So I see why people don't want to jump on some character issues because you end up in the Pac-Man.
Oh, I'm talking about injury. I'm not talking about character issues. That's different.
Okay.
Character issues I do to a certain extent.
Character matters. Character matters.
Like, and it depends on what they're using that character issue on. Like what that the issue.
Like
is.
Not no Shador BS.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Shador BS it bothers me.
The Shador BS is a whole bunch of other BS because it goes to Dion. Baker
Mayfield's the number 1 pick coming out of Oklahoma. I ain't never seen somebody as arrogant as Baker Mayfield on football.
Oh, and Baker has some other issues too. Though. Baker had issues, and Johnny Manziel also had issues.
Short. Baker was small.
Yeah.
He didn't have like a super gadget rocket arm.
Facts.
And
all facts.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
And that was the same year. That's the same year with Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got picked over as Lamar.
He got picked over Lamar.
31 picked over Lamar. 4 other quarterbacks got picked over Lamar.
I'm just why I don't always get into like just because somebody slides, it's just like it must be a reason. I've seen it up in the draft where people just get it wrong. I'm sorry. Like they overthink the process.
And
they overthink the process.
People don't get on organizations for getting it wrong a lot.
Yeah, they don't.
They always get on the player because we have loyalty to the team.
Yeah, exactly.
We have loyalty to the team, but like,
agreed.
Like the Giants got Evan Neal wrong. Let's put it. Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's no way around it.
Yeah.
The Giants got Evan Neal all the way wrong.
Yeah. So
in the top 7,
Washington got Jahan Dotson wrong.
And got him out of there.
Different organization, but different same thing.
Talking a guy who slipped, another guy who slipped that Washington should have taken and didn't was Christian Gonzalez because he wasn't supposed to be there at 19.
You don't want to open up that can of worms.
Yeah, exactly.
But it goes. It's just to amplify the points.
But you know what? That's a bad. You know what? I can't.
But if you get Christian Gonzalez, we're not having that conversation.
No,
10 minutes ago about
if you take Derwin James, you ain't having that conversation.
Yeah, what?
If you take Darisaw, you're not having that conversation.
You know what?
Yeah.
You want to go? Let's not go back to those last 5 years.
No, what? I apologize. You know what? That's a different regime. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even. I'm just saying. I would have wanted this regime to pick the best available player. They didn't, so they might see something different. Like when they may see something different.
I think. But hold on. I know we got to get out of here. It's almost after midnight. Almost 12:30. They say Taj ain't yawn anymore. It was just a one-time yawn. I was coming back to that. But if we didn't pick, the reason that we didn't pick Will Johnson and the teams after us didn't pick Will Johnson.
No, that means bad.
That means bad because those teams that behind us also needed a corner, and they saw the same thing that we saw. So
and
that's
no way Buffalo.
So that's when you argue about your pick. Everybody can't be wrong about Will Johnson, especially the teams after us that need a corner.
You can be wrong. Like don't get wrong. Like you can be wrong. Like I said, my argument is I've seen it before. Like people over-examine, like folks. Like we picked again, Jonathan. The reason I use Jonathan Allen because he was supposed to be a top 10 pick at that time, top 10, top 5 pick, and we got him. So all the teams before us got it wrong or got it right. Excuse me. That's all I'm saying.
Guys,
that's all I'm saying. Like they had the same medical. Like folks were acting like his injury, it looked like he would barely play that much in the league. That's how the reports came out during that whole draft process. Mm-hmm. Like George said, Montez Sweat, he was supposed to be an easy first round pick.
Yeah,
we got him late. We traded back. We traded back in to get him.
We traded back into the first round.
So did everybody else get it wrong? I mean, get it right. Get it right. Everybody get it right.
But everybody else didn't want to pull the trigger. They wanted to gamble.
That's what I'm saying.
The team behind us. The team behind us, look at Buffalo was behind us, Philadelphia was behind us, Kansas City. They don't want to gamble on that.
But I'm just saying that's my point. Like they got it. So I'm just saying those teams got it right. Did for the trade, the draft I'm referring to, did they get it right? Because at the end of the day, their careers played out differently, right? Am I correct?
Right. You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
And whatever you want to say about what Montez Sweat did here in Washington, he was good enough to get traded for a high draft pick and then get the bag with Chicago.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey. And you know what? We won't know till, like Mo said, we won't know. We won't know till
like 3 years. That's what I'm saying. That I agree with. We won't know. Like all of this is a mute point. Like we can say we like it, don't like it. You don't know, and you can say, "Oh, I was wrong" or whatever. After in 2-3 years,
but George is going to be wrong in 3 years.
About who am I going to be wrong about? Jackson Dart.
Dabo won't be there in 3 years because he might be last year.
A dear friend of this show is Candy Waller, and I just want to see what she's going to ask Adam Peters tomorrow and what Adam Peters has to say about was there any offers to trade back? Were they looking at did they consider Will Campbell or excuse me Will John? I'm drawing. Did they consider him?
I knew. I knew something was wrong with Will Johnson when Minnesota and Green Bay back-to-back passed up on him.
Oh, I'm sure they can pass him up. I agree. They can pass him up. I'm just saying, like,
that's when I knew something was wrong with Will Johnson.
Yeah, we could say in 2 years. Is it the same? Like, will they look at it like I was right?
We can only focus on next year, though.
No, I'm saying, sorry. Next year, or even next year, because he'll play.
What we're talking about today can't impact the rest of their whole career.
No, I'm saying
got to be within a 2 year period.
I want to look. This is why I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry in 2 years.
Hey, that's the Michigan coming out. That's the Michigan fan coming out of here.
Now it's totally biased. Now we've gone to bias level now. It was first just being mad about best player available. We're now at bias level. One thing, folks who you may be new to the show, I admit my faults in life all the time. Like we're in levels of bias now.
If you weren't here earlier for the whole Colston Loveland conversation, there you go.
Yeah, Loveland, you want to see that too? Watch. Look,
no, I think Loveland's going to be good. I do not think that. I just don't think he's going to be better than Tyler Warren.
Hey, go watch.
The only thing that's going to hold Tyler Warren back is the person throwing him the football.
He playing the Colts, right?
He played with the Colts. That's the problem.
Exactly. Loveland gonna have a good year. Exactly. All right. Exactly.
Loveland's
you might be right, Timothy Park. It may happen after draft, but you might be right.
Yeah.
Oh man, you think Hendrickson? Oh, you think so? Oh, yeah.
You still got paid.
It's going to involve 2026 compensation at this point.
Like Mo said, you're giving up too much. You might as well draft it to edge in this draft.
You got paid. Washington got paid too many people. You got to pay Terry.
And
you got to pay Larry Tunzel. Hendrickson wants $30 million a year. I'm sorry.
And you might as well draft the edge in this draft for real. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, and I'm with you on that. 100%. Boy, I'm with you.
All right,
on
well,
that.
folks, man, this has been we're at 12:30. Like Mo said, Glenn said. Hey, we appreciate everybody for pulling up with us, man. Great show, man. Great audience, great chat. You know what I mean? We can all agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But you know, at the end of the day, this team made a draft pick. And we're all gonna be rooting. If you're a Commanders fan, we're all gonna be rooting for this draft pick to be successful. That's the most important thing. Like, so I will be rooting for Connor Lee to be like that. I'm hoping that he takes the right. Actually, I hope that he's gonna be the right tackle and move Brandon Coleman.
It has to be the play, bro. It has to be the play. I don't think they thought he was gonna be there, and then when he ended up being there, I think they traded. I mean, I think they took him. I think that's why. I think he might have been on Kansas City's board. I think that's why Kansas City traded back with Philly.
Okay,
yeah.
And they still went with offensive tackle.
Yeah, because Kansas City will draft that way. They would always do that for Mahomes.
Yeah,
they do that normally. They
have to do that for Mahomes because how the money
works. I know because the money works. They got to take reaches.
Tackle play is good for them. They let him go.
Yeah, they got to reach. They always got to reach that offense and try to hope they can nurture that player. Yeah, and then nurture that draft pick to be something that better than what he can be or whatever.
Yeah, but like Kansas City must have wanted him the way that they traded out of that pick and then moved back in one more pick and still took a tackle from Ohio State. So
yeah. Like, I'm gonna read yours real quick because I was about to end the show. But I'm gonna let you have this one, the last one. Who's happier, Jaden or the running back room after this offseason?
May not be neither.
Maybe not be neither. Let's see how it play out, Deluxe. Let's see how it play out. Just because you draft somebody don't mean it's gonna be good.
Trust me, I know all about drafting offensive tackle.
Look, we drafted Luke McCaffrey, and it's amazing.
Every chance you get. Every chance
you get.
Man, hey, I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Anyway, you were listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. Shitty deuces. We out. And Luke McCaffrey, I love you, bro.